Sorry, I have to attend the nature's call. Today I didn't go earlier, so please excuse me. So we have changed a little our program. We are not holding any more 3:30 meditation, but we will read Manahasiksa just after the song, so we are not going to miss anything. That's the suggestion I got from our IT team, that they are working so diligently. So I'm in debt to them for their kind service. So we will read as we do at 3:30 little bit from Manahasiksa, and then we will continue reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta. Other day we have that one mantra that everybody should remember was Brajeshi Radha Krishna Swarati Manidau Tvam Bhajamanaha. That's where we left other day. After all, the only thing we have to understand is the love for Krishna is the greatest treasure. And we also learn the Anusanga Phale Kriya Samsara Kshaya Chitta Akarshya Kriya Krishna Premadoya. This is how we will be able to attain the love of Krishna. What a wonderful verses. Krishna appeared in the form of his devotees, wants to see him in. Krishna himself says, Ye athamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. 4:11 Bhagavad Gita. The deeper our love, the more fully God will manifest himself to us. It's everything up to us. If our love is mixed with reverence, then God will also appear in that way as Lord Narayan. If we need love and love only, Krishna will appear before us in his most complete form as Swayam Bhagavan. There is a story in this connection, well known in Ranbari, north of Suryakund. In parentheses, the story is also in A.W. Entwistle's book, Vaishnava Tilak, parenthesis over. Sri Krishnadas Babaji lived in a village near Varsana, India. He had gone to Vraj as a boy, wonderful story, and performed his bhajan in this village for many, many years. He had blessed that village that there would be no hunger or epidemics in the village, and that it would prosper in all respect. When he was 50 years old, Haribol, he thought, quote, half of my life is over. What to speak of mine, Haribol. Who knows how long I'm gonna live? Everyone is going on pilgrimage to the holy places, and I have never been to any other holy places, unquote. This is Krishnadas Babaji speaking. There are 4 main holy places in India. In the south is at Rameshwaram, in the west is Dwarka, east is Puri, and north is Badrikashram. He decided to tour the whole of India, visiting these 4 sacred places. As Krishnadas was about to leave, Srimati Radharani came to him in a dream and said as follows, quote, why leave? You are here in Braj. I'll give you everything you need. There is nothing you will find in the other places, unquote. He woke up and thought, quote, oh, I must have imagined at all. The dream can't be true. After all, I just want to go to a holy place and become purified, unquote. So he left and traveled everywhere. Finally, he came to the temple of Dwarkadish in Dwarka. He received a mark on his body as evidence that he had been there. Krishnadas Babaji finally came back to Braj. When he fell asleep on his first night in Braj, Srimati Radharani again came to him in a dream and said as follows, quote, go away, I do not need you. Satyabhama has taken you into her entourage. You are now her servant. You have that mark on your shoulders. Get out of here. Otherwise, you will just be bothering everyone, poisoning the atmosphere of Braj. What a nice transcendental. I think I would like to read a little bit more. Krishnadas went to his friends, the other Mahatmas and holy men, and asked them, what shall I do? He is, great Acharya is teaching us when we are in difficulty, we should not make our own decision. We should approach some seniors and mentors who are well-wishers of us to find out, what should we do? Listening to him, they all became frightened, saying, quote, well, Srimati Radharani does not want you. Srimati Radharani does not want to know you. What can we say? He said, quote, please accept me. I want to be here with you, unquote. So they replied, quote, how can we go against her will? Srimati Radharani herself has rejected you, unquote. Then he realized that there was no hope. Disheartened, Krishnadas sat in his hut and began to fast. He was fasting and chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He was chanting with all his heart. In his heart, he was praying and weeping, repentance burning him inside. He was appealing to Srimati Radharani, imploring her. He fasted for 3 months. Haribol. So we know for sure we can survive at least 3 months without food. Remaining in his hut, after 3 months, he suddenly saw that his body was wrapped in flames. They visualize Haribol. Jagannath Das Babaji was in Vrindavan at that time. Haribol. He sent his servant to see what was going on with Krishnadas. The servant saw his body literally burning, like that of Sati, while he was sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. I think it's wonderful things to dwell on it, but also we should be punctual on our schedule. So now we will dwell on the life of dear Srila Prabhupada. We are reading from the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta, volume number 2. And I think because last we read on Friday, I'll read a couple of more lines to bring up to the speed, and then we will continue. A few devotees collated and stapled the magazine in an assembly line, walking along the stacks of pages, taking one page under another until they reach the end of the bench and give the assembled stack of pages to Gargamuni, who stood brushing his long hair out of his eyes. Stapling each magazine with the stapler. Yesterday I think in the class, His Holiness Brahmapada Swami Maharaj was remembering Gargamuni and Brahmananda. Maharaj was saying they are brothers. I was not able to go to the temple, but I never missed such wonderful Vani. Haribol. Who stood brushing his long hair out of his eyes, stapling each magazine with the stapler and staple Brahmananda had brought from his Board of Education office. Even Hayagriva, who usually didn't volunteer for menial duties, was there, walking down the line, collating. This is where we left on Friday. So now we will continue. Suddenly the side door opened, and to their surprise, they saw Swamiji looking in at them. Then he opened the door wide and entered the room. He had never come down like this on an off night before. They felt an unexpected flush of emotion and love for him. And they dropped down on their knees, bowing their heads to the floor. Quote, "No, no," he said, raising his hand to stop them, as some were still bowing and others already rising to their feet. Quote, "Continue what you are doing," unquote. When they stood up and saw him standing with them, they weren't sure what to do. But obviously he had come down to see them producing his Back to Godhead magazine. So they continued working silently and efficiently. Prabhupada walked down the row of pages, his hand and wrist extending gracefully from the fold of his shawl as he touched a stack of pages, and then a finished magazine. Quote, "ISKCON Press," unquote, he said. Jagannath had designed the cover using a pen and ink drawing of Radha and Krishna, similar to his painting in the temple. It was a simple drawing set within a pattern of concentric circles. The first page opened with the same motto Prabhupada had used for years on his Back to Godhead. Quote, "Godhead is light. Nescience is darkness. Where there is a Godhead, there is no nescience." Unquote. And on the same page, Hayagriva had not been able to resist giving a quotation from William Blake, approved by Swamiji, which substantiated the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. It goes like that: God appears and God is light to those poor souls who dwell in night, but does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day. Although the editorial spoke of Blake, Whitman, and Jesus Christ is stressed as follows. It is to teach this science of devotion to God that Swami Bhaktivedanta has come to America. His message is very simple: the chanting of the holy name of God, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, unquote. Following the order of his spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, Swami Bhaktivedanta began the initial publication of Back to Godhead in 1944. This bi-monthly published from 1944 to 1956 in Vrindavan, India, established Swami Bhaktivedanta as the leading personalist in India. This issue marks the first publication of Back to Godhead in the West. The main article, a summary of a lecture given by Prabhupada, was based on notes taken by Umapati as follows. It has been said that when we wake up and when we go to sleep, we should bear our mind 1,000 times with the soul. When the mind says think like, why sing Hare Krishna? Why not take LSD? We should beat it with the same soul. However, if we always think of Krishna, no beating is necessary. The mind will be our best friend. And there was an article by Hayagriva, Flip Out and Stay. Hayagriva had quoted liberally from Hot Crane and Walt Whitman as follows. No wonder so many young collegiates are trying to flip out permanently on super drugs. Perhaps this is their way of saying, quote, we don't want any part of this hell you have made for yourself, unquote. So they use psychedelics as a springboard to propel themselves into different realms. But the drug flip is only temporary. It is temporary because it is artificial. One really begins to wonder where all these trips are leading. Hayagriva concluded that Krishna Kirtan is the quickest way to flip out without coming down. He expressed in this following paragraph, your associates will think you mad. That is the first sign of progress. Just let others be mad for Maya, the old ephemeral lures of woman and gold. But be mad instead for the reality. In the back of the magazine was an ad for Swamiji's essays, Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure, and who is crazy? And a notice as follows. Soon to be printed, Gitopanishad or Bhagavad Gita, it is translated with commentaries by Swami Bhaktivedanta. Prabhupada's first and main instructions to his editor had been that they should produce the magazine regularly. Regularity is important, and Prabhupada is emphasizing every month. Even if they didn't know how to sell the copy, or even if there only turn out 2 pages, they had to continue bearing that standard to produce that magazine. Haribol. So you can chant 1 round or 16 round, but you must join on time. Haribol. He called Hayagriva to his son and presented him a complete 3-volume set of his Srimad Bhagavatam. On the front page of each volume, he had written following message. Quote, to Sriman Hayagriva Das Brahmachari with my blessings, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, unquote. Hayagriva was grateful and mentioned that he had not been able to afford them. Good, that's all right, Prabhupada says. Now you compile this back to Godhead, work sincerely and make it as big as Time magazine, unquote. Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to take part in it. Quote, don't be dull, he said. Quote, write something, unquote. He wanted to give his disciple back to Godhead for their own preaching. Brahmananda and Garmuni took the first issue out of the same night on bicycles, riding to every head shop on the Lower East Side, all the way to 14th Street and as far as west as the West Village. until they had distributed all 100 issues. This was an increase in the preaching. Now all his students could take part in the work, typing, editing, writing, assembling, selling. It was his preaching, of course, but he wasn't alone anymore. Quote, over a short 4 months, the society has expanded sufficiently to warrant larger quarters than the small Second Avenue storefront temple. Unquote. Stated the editorial in the second issue of the Back to Godhead, Prabhupada had not abandoned his idea for a big building in New York City. Greenwich Village real estate was too expensive, and Midtown was out of the question. But Prabhupada still said he wanted to buy a building. It was difficult for his followers to think of Krishna consciousness as anything more than a Lower East Side movement. Because who but the people of the Lower East Side would be interested in Krishna consciousness? And anyway, who had money to buy a building in Manhattan? But one day, Ravindra Swarup had happened to meet someone, a wealthy Jewish heir, who was sympathetic toward youth movements, who agreed to loan Swamiji $5,000. Haribol. Ravindra Swarup had arranged the loan, and Swamiji has designated the money as his building fund, to which he had gradually added another $5,000 that he had collected through incidental donations. But with suitable buildings starting at $100,000, even this sum seemed pretty. Swamiji went with Brahmananda to look at the building on 6th Street that had previously been the Jewish Providential Bank, even though Prabhupada has $10,000 in his pocket. He had a large lobby with a mezzanine, marble floors, and the atmosphere of a temple. Brahmananda suggested that the vault area could be remodeled for use as a dormitory, and Swamiji considered the mezzanine for his own apartment. The large lobby, he said, could be used for kirtan and lectures. On leaving the building, however, Prabhupada noted that it was located on the corner by a bus stop. It would not be a good location. The Gaudiya Math branch at Bagh Bazaar in Calcutta, he said, was also located at a bus stop, and the noisy engines of the buses as they started up created a disturbance. Prabhupada next looked at the temple Emmanuel, also on the 6th Street on the Lower East Side. It was even larger than the bank building. And when Sabab the Swamiji disciple walked through the cavernous, empty roads, they become bewildered to think how, even if they could get such a place, they would be able to manage or use it. He visited other places, one so neglected and in such poor repair that it looked as though it had been vandalized, and another in similar condition, filled with lumber stacked almost to the ceiling. He asked Rupanuga, who had accompanied him, what he thought, and Rupanuga says, quote, too much time and money to fix it up, unquote. So they left. Swamiji returned to his room and went into the bathroom, where he washed his feet in the tub. He said that it was an Indian custom that after walking outside, you must wash your feet. How many of us are following that? Hari Bol. Then the devotees, I have to be 6:50. Okay, we have 5 more minutes. Then the devotees met Mr. Price, an elegantly dressed real estate agent. Quote, "You have a handful of stars," Mr. Price told Brahmananda. "You are incorporated as a tax-free religious organization. You have no idea how much money this will save. So many people have to vacate just because they can't pay their taxes. But someone up there is looking after you people, and I have just the place for you and your Swami." So Mr. Price showed Brahmananda a handsome 3-story building near St. Mark Place. It was a good downtown location near the young people, yet in an area where the uptown people would feel safe. The floors were polished hardwood, all the doors were ornately hand-carved, and it had a large hall suitable for a temple. The Marquis de Lafayette had stayed here during his visit in 1824, a fact that added to the building's charm and prestige. So one evening, Mr. Price visited Prabhupada up in his room. Prabhupada was sitting on the floor behind his desk, and Mr. Price sitting on a metal folding chair. Mr. Prince wore an elegant suit and a white dress shirt with cuff links and starch cuffs. His expensive dress, meticulously tanned face, and blonde hair, parenthesis, which some devotee thought was a wig, parenthesis over, contrasted strangely with the Swami's simplicity. Mr. Price kept referring to Swamiji as, quote, "Your Excellency," unquote, and he expressed much appreciation of Swami's work. He spoke optimistically about how, through his connections, he hoped to save Prabhupada a lot of money and trouble and get him just the place he wanted. Okay, 3 more minutes, one more paragraph we can read. Accompanied by a few disciples, Prabhupada went with Mr. Price to see the building. While Mr. Prince, the devotees, and the custodian of the house were all talking together in a group, Prabhupada wandered off unnoticed to a corner of the room where there was an old-fashioned sewing machine. He began pressing the treadle and examining the working of the machine. As Prabhupada rejoined the group, Mr. Price said, quote, "If you can just get $5,000 down, I can get the owners to drop a contract. $5,000 down and another 5,000 within 2 months. That shouldn't be so difficult," unquote. Prabhupada liked the building and told Brahmananda they should purchase it. So I think we should stop here. We should be punctual. In our practices. So with those thoughts, the devotees who has to leave for their another duties to perform, I'd like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who take their important time to join and give us the strength. I'm in debt to you. Vanchakalpataruhasya kapashandavaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you very much. So before we depart, I think we should stop the recording. If anybody has any question, comment, correction, suggestions, chastisement, feel free to do so. In a Vaishnava assembly, we should feel so comfortable to reveal our mind and heart and the thoughts. There should be no secret in our life. This is the way we should live our life. Thank you very much. Always I'm the one who talks so much, right? Today I have scheduled to see some devotees and also speak to them. But I always entertain those things after 4 p.m. I want to stay busy until 4 for my own purification. And then I would like to enjoy the association of the devotees in any way that I can. And it's so nice. I was lucky enough to spend a couple of hours with wonderful family who visited Asutosh Prabhu from Corpus Christi. Good wife Vandana Mataji, son Govind and Nilamadava. Very nice exchanges we had. Asutosh Prabhu, you had a good meeting with your aspiring Guru Maharaj? Asutosh Prabhu is here or
Hare
he?
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Yes,
Dhanvada.
Prabhuji. Yeah, it was a very good meeting, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you very much for visiting us.
Thank you so
It
much,
was
Prabhuji.
nice to meet with you personally, share some inner feeling of our heart, and it was very enlivening. I will never forget those moments. It was very wonderful. And I hope that Nila Madhava is feeling good with that. When he banged my table, chanting table, he is feeling okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, that was actually a blessing. Because of that, you kept your hand on his head. He got a lot of
Hari,
blessings.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Asutosh Prabhu. You are a wonderful devotee. And I hope and pray that the curry plant that I have gifted you, just keep it inside the house where little lights are there, at least for 10 days. And then you can take outside and let it get strong. Then you can plant in the ground. And they will survive, Prabhu. Only thing you have to do during the winter time, cut it to the ground and just cover with some mulch or dirt. And when the spring come, it will come up again, beautiful plant, and it will keep on growing. It will multiply automatically, so you don't have to buying any other curry leaf plant. Hope that can grow nicely.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
so that was very sweet. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Oh, you are always welcome, Prabhuji. That's the treasure of my life. you know, I'm a useless guy. I don't go to the temple. I don't attend to the Maharaj program. But somehow or other I remain something where I need to be. With their blessings, I tell them, I inform them my views that this is what I have decided. What can we say? These are exalted personality. I was just thinking that how your Guru Maharaj is kind to me, that he always responded. Because I sent him first the text message, but I know Maharaj was so busy and I was so much worried because Maharaj has to give a noontime program, come back at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and you are going to leave at 4 o'clock. I have to jump in, so I can't resist. I made the phone call. And Maharaj right away responded. And things went very well, so I'm so happy. Maharaj is extremely kind to me, even though I'm most fallen than you are. It's amazing to see. This when I was thinking about responding, when we even go to Goloka Vrindavan, there will we have to respond to Krishna's actions. We have to respond accordingly. And then according to our response, they will respond again to us. But if we fail to respond, do you think that exchange will go on? No, it will stop. It will dry up. eventually will become the loser like that. So we have to practice this responsive, at least that part. I felt that it's very much needed, because somebody even call upon you, they have some need, they may have some affection for you. We can't neglect it. We can't neglect it. This is how it is. We are living in the material world. I don't think that unless you become so peaceful, don't engage with anybody like this mantra that I really feel that's anusange phala kare sansara kshaya. And if you really want to become free from this material